I spoke before on social media as far as the pros and cons, right? And as far as social media being a blessing and a curse, depending on how you use it, right? What it has done that I'm grateful for is it has afforded everyone the opportunity to walk in everyone's mind because everyone is sharing their opinions on here. Everyone is sharing their thoughts and opinions whenever they feel like it, right? Whether it's their own original, authentic thoughts or if they have adopted someone else's thoughts and then they just get on social media and regurgitate someone else's thoughts, right? In this video, I am speaking specifically about men who are also fathers of daughters, right? Adolescent girls and young women, and how they use social media to air out all their grievances against women, right? While their daughters, adolescent or young women, while they have easy access to their thoughts and opinions online, right? And it's these men are not even aware as to the effect that they are going to have on their daughters as they are spewing nonsense and disrespectful sentiments about women daily on all social media platforms. We already know about the podcast Pookies, right? But it's not just this app. They're all over the place spewing hypocritical nonsense about women whilst their adolescent and young daughters or their adolescent daughters who are also young women that they have as daughters are able to access this nonsense. They're not even aware of the effect, short and long term, that they will have on their daughters. So this is what I want to speak about today. I have been vocal about this on my other platform that I use that I'm mainly on, but now that I have a channel here on YouTube, now I get to be vocal instead of just typing out my sentiments on it. Right? Because they're extremely hypocritical with their talking points. It's ridiculous. And why they're hypocritical and ridiculous is because they're suffering from Peter Pan syndrome. Right? They are suffering from Peter Pan syndrome. They refuse to grow up, right? They refuse to take on adult responsibilities. They are always blaming someone or something else for why they can't accomplish anything in life. They just refuse to grow up. They have no purposeful direction. Um, they're unable to make a commitment, whether it's in a relationship or to a career or anything. They just refuse to grow up. Peter Pan syndrome. And it's funny when I think about the image of Peter Pan, I think about these dudes with the tight jeans on. I mean, with the jeggings on, online spewing nonsense about women, and these men have daughters, high school, in their 20s, while they're speaking online about this. So that's what I wanted to get into in this video, right? Extremely hypocritical. One of their main talking points, and they all say the same things. Y'all know that. They all say the same things. The main one is this single mother, right, that they have, right? All of their hypocritical thoughts that they have, has it ever occurred to these dudes that one day their daughters might become single mothers? Has it ever occurred to them that their daughters one day might become single mothers? And I've even heard some of these dudes say, well, that's not going to happen to my daughter because she's college bound. She had both of her parents in the home, right? As if that makes her immune to facing the realities and circumstances that other women have had to face. That doesn't make your daughter immune, sir, because she's in college or she was raised in a home with both parents. That doesn't make her immune from real life circumstances. So that right there, that's null and void, right? And now they're on this shaming stepfathers. It's so hypocritical. I mean, it's the hypocrisy of it. Now they're shaming stepfathers, where there are people, if it were not for a man stepping in and loving their mother and choosing choosing to play a father role, a father figure to this woman's child, and they have went on to become great things in life and make power moves in life. If it wasn't for that man, a stepfather, So you see how hypocritical that is, right? You're shaming single women and then you're shaming stepfathers. So if a man comes into a woman's life, then she's no longer a single mother because now she has a man there to help her raise a child. And now you have a problem with that. These dudes are miserable. And every time again, when I think about Peter Pan, it all makes sense. Very just immature, childish, refuse to grow up online with your jeggings on, going off on women, and you're not making any sense, sir. You're not making any sense. Here's another one. Man, we don't care about your degrees in education or intellect. We don't care about that. That's another one that makes absolutely no sense. And that your daughters are hearing you say a lot of your daughters are repulsed. A lot of your daughters are repulsed by your behavior and they are embarrassed by you because you're embarrassing. So, in other words, as your daughter again can access your thoughts and opinions online, what are you communicating to your daughter when you say that? What exactly are you communicating to her when you say that men don't care about your degrees and your education or your intellect? It's like they spew these opinions and thoughts and nonsense, but for some reason it doesn't apply to their daughter. That doesn't make sense. So what you're telling us is that it's okay for men to sniff around your daughter for sex, for his pleasure, because that's all it is, really. You know what I mean? On first glance. So what you're telling us, it's okay for men to sniff around your daughter for sex, for his pleasure, not hers, while dismissing your daughter's ambition and her achievements gained by way of her intellect. That's what you're telling us. What you're saying is that you want your daughter basically to be an airhead and a bird brain and fulfill a man's purpose in life. Is that what you're telling us, sir? Please. The hypocrisy of it all. The hypocrisy of wanting their daughters to be treated in ways that they don't treat other men's daughters. Not making sense at all. Very hypocritical. And I don't believe that for 1 second. That hypocrisy for 1 second, Mr. Peter Pan with skinny jeans on, embarrassing your daughter on the internet. I don't believe that for 1 second. That that's what you really want for your daughter. Right? Do your views and opinions and sentiments and nonsense that you spew daily, does that also apply to your daughters? Stop it. Cut it out. Cut it out. What you are really telling us is that you are an underachiever with nothing to show for yourself at your big age. You are projecting your failure not only on random women on the internet that y'all holding accountable. That's another one that makes no sense. How are you going to hold random women that you don't even know accountable? Mind your business. Right? You are projecting your failure not only on random women, but also on your own daughter, But because you lack self awareness and empathy, you can't see it that way. And that's unfortunate for you because you're the one that's going to pay in the end. The joke's on you. The joke's on you right now. You can't even see that. Right? You cannot see beyond the gripes that you have with your mother or any other woman who has traumatized you in your childhood. Because a lot of that's what it is. That's one of the main reasons. It doesn't take a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a rocket scientist to figure that out. All you have to do is fall back and listen to what comes out of people's mouth, and you could basically put two and two together, right? You cannot see past the woman or women who hurt your feelings, right? Because you're not, more than likely, you are not getting the results that you want from women and you're angry about it and you're resentful and you're bitter. You're bitter, sir. You're resentful and you're bitter because you're not getting the results from the women that you want. You're not getting results from women, period. Not even the one that you're with. If you're married or whatever, you're not getting the results that you want, right? You're miserable. Just own up to it. This is what it boils down to. Misery. Okay? You can't see past these women that hurt your feelings. because they didn't live up to your expectations. A lot of that is because they didn't live up to your delusional standards, right? And expectations of what you believe a woman is or how a woman should be and carry herself. This is why it's important to mind your business, because instead of you chasing around random women, trying to hold them accountable, spewing disrespectful, harmful ideologies and rhetoric on the internet all day long, where your adolescent daughters and your daughters who are also young women who are at the age where they're navigating dating and men and relationships, right? You have to mind your business and do what you need to do to get your mind right so that you can stop looking crazy out here or not, right? You have to learn how to get past the lies that you are telling yourself daily, daily. Okay. And also, why do y'all keep telling us that men built everything when you're not one of the men that built anything? Men have built some things, but they haven't built everything. And even so, you're not one of the men that built anything. All you did was create a social media account and go off on random women all day. That's it. But listen, if you ever find yourself needing a feeding tube, okay? If you ever find yourself needing a feeding tube to keep you alive, remember that a woman, a black woman, let me clarify, created that for you. Okay? Keep that in your back pocket, sir. A little research will save you a ton of embarrassment. I promise. Just a little bit. So the thing is, a lot of these dudes, they believe that providing tangible things, tangibles to their daughters, to their families, they believe that by doing that, that they are not negligent, right? However, they are emotionally negligent to the women that they claim that they love because of immaturity and selfishness, again, which are symptoms of Peter Pan syndrome. And a lot of them are also out of touch with reality. This is what I have been observing thus far. Out of touch with reality. Okay? Begging women to allow you to lead them, but you cannot properly guide your own flesh and blood, your own daughter. You have to practice with her first, sir. Practice leading and guiding with your own daughter. Okay? Before begging women to allow you to do that. And the reason you can't properly guide your own daughter, the reason why you're unaware that she's repulsed by your behavior and antics online is because you lack awareness and you are coming from a wounded place, sir. You're coming from a wounded place. And you think because you are a male born with a penis that you are exempt from having to do shadow work when that's something that every human being has to do. Each and every one of us. Keep that in your back pocket. Think about that for a minute. Peter Pans also do not understand how highly intuitive their adolescent daughters are, right? Speaking on their adolescent daughters. Even though they may not be able to articulate all of what is going on with their fathers, and between him and their mother, between him and other women. Yeah, other women. They're paying attention. These children, they know and understand what's going on. More importantly, they feel it. They may not, again, they may not be able to articulate it, everything of what's going on, but they feel what's going on. And they're looking at you sideways because of it, sir. They're looking at you sideways, right? They're also paying attention to how you treat their mothers and other women, right? All of your conversations surrounding dating and motherhood and parenthood and relationships and family, they're paying attention to that, right? You have some men out here who they have extramarital affairs, but they seem to be able to keep that away from their family. Their children never find out about it. I don't know about the wife. I can't say, what's going on between him and the wife as far as what she knows, but they have enough respect for their children to not find out about that. So the question becomes, what kind of values, Peter Pan, are you communicating to your daughters? What seeds are you planting in her psyche? Because a lot of these Peter Pan fathers, they're the reason why their daughters grow up and have poor self images. Remember Little Kim? How she talked about how her father gave her a complex about her looks, right? A lot of this is starting with the fathers. Do y'all care about your daughter's feelings? Right? Because in a lot of these Peter Pans and their selfish minds, their daughters' feelings as they are adolescents, they're trivial. They don't mean anything to them. Meanwhile, these feelings that their daughters have, they're solidifying slowly but surely over the years into hatred. Into hatred. They don't get it. They don't get it. Peter Pans, these Peter Pans, you are creating the same women that you hate, sir. You're creating that woman. The same woman that you despise and mock and spew disrespectful nonsense all day and night on the internet. The joke is on you, sir. Your daughters are repulsed by your behavior, right? Because you are suffering from Peter Pan syndrome, which is your problem that you have to fix. You cannot read the room. The room meaning your daughter. You cannot, right? You are not offering any model of self-discipline as you're online typing angrily away and holding random women accountable. Some of them even say nasty things as far as colorism is concerned, right? You have no clue what's going to echo in your daughter's minds for years to come. You're not offering any model of success or self-discipline. Nothing. Daughters are not just looking up to their mothers as models, they're also looking up to their fathers as well. Right? And so while you're spewing this disrespect and these harmful ideologies and rhetoric, you're teaching your daughters to accept and tolerate from men what her mother and stepmother and any other women you expect to tolerate from you. That's crazy. That is insane. And a lot of y'all, look at the contrast between how your wife, for the married ones, look at the contrast between how your wife looked when you first met her and now. When she was glowing and full of life. But because of your exhausting, draining, immature ways, she has lost that glow. She has lost that sparkle in her eyes. And while I believe that women should maintain their health and their beauty and vigor no matter what's going on. I do. No matter what's going on, who's who, what's going on, I'm going to make sure that I look my best. I'm going to make sure that I feel good so that I can look good. Absolutely. All day. I believe that, right? Because no matter how much you love a man, it's not a good idea to let him or anyone else take a toll on your physical health, right? Again, when you look good, you feel good. And I believe a lot of women, when they don't look good, it's because they don't feel good. And a lot of times it's because they got a man somewhere draining them. And now they're trying to drain and exhaust their own daughters by way of their harmful ideologies. Because let's not pretend how exhausting these dudes are. These Peter Pans are overbearing and annoying to their wives and their daughters and any other women. And now they have the unmitigated gall to get online and spew all of this rhetoric, seeking out other women to annoy and to drain. So, yeah. So, I just wanted to have that conversation with y'all. This is something I've been wanting to kind of get into. Like I said, outside of me just writing posts on the other app, but it's a few more things we're going to get into. Thanks again for tuning in.